Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Dishatarine. I feel very happy to be here. It was very enlightening to listen to all the panelists. And I was thinking that all of you are coming from a very successful background. You all are very successful individuals. And when you speak from your experiences, it does throw an incredible amount of light to our consciousness. And that is how we actually have to enrich ourselves. To go back to the topic, conscious leadership, the way it came to me is that the leaders have to become conscious of their responsibility. And when that happens, then everyone around them become happy. And everybody actually needs guidance. Everybody needs to be led. The other day, Dr. Charles gave me the book that he wrote based on Bhagavad Gita and Chinese Art of War. And I was going through that, and in that book he narrated one experience that he had in 1981. He was a trainee in the German Naval Academy in Flensburg. And one day, the commanding officer told the cadets that today you won't have any trainer, you're on your own. But you can't leave, you all have to be here and you have to decide what you have to do. And he was expressing in that book that how everyone was in total confusion. Like, that actually shows what an important role a leader actually plays in the life of the follower. And that is where comes the conscious leadership. A leader must know where he is going to lead. A leader must have a vision. A leader should have three qualities. A successful leader, an effective leader, must have three qualities. One, he must know where the goal is, and that's the vision. He must know how to motivate his followers. A successful leader's success lies in motivating his followers. He inspires his followers to achieve that goal. And then that goal is achieved as a team. Although the leader gets the credit, but at the same time, leader actually transfers the credit to his followers. He doesn't say that I have achieved it. A successful leader always remains grateful to his followers because he knows without them he couldn't have achieved that. And then a leader must know how to facilitate his followers. If the leader, instead of facilitating his followers, if the leader simply tries to depend upon his followers, then followers will not have the confidence in him. The confidence comes when the follower sees or has the confidence that I don't have to worry about anything. Whatever I need will be supplied by him. And that is what makes an appropriate leader. And then the followers become happy and the world becomes a wonderful place to be in. On the other hand, if the leader's motivation is to exploit his followers, then the whole thing gets destroyed. Whole purpose is lost. Well, I don't have to go into elaborate details of what's happening to the world today, but I think everybody will agree with me that to a great extent, the so-called leaders of today's world are exploiting their followers. Now you see, there are two things: exploitation and service. If we try to exploit, then the noble purpose will never generate out of it. But when we develop an attitude of service, that is what makes the world around us develop and progress beautifully. Now, how do we develop this attitude? First of all, for that we need training. Again, we need leaders to train us. It's a good follower that actually makes a good leader. First you become a student, then you become a teacher. First you become a follower, then you become a leader. And when such leaders lead, then the world becomes a beautiful place. Now, at this point, I'll rather present something to you, because I consider that all of you are leaders in some way or other. Some are leader in a very, very large sphere, and some are leading maybe in a not so large sphere. But all of you have the responsibility to lead some bodies. Now the question is, where to lead? At this point, I will request everyone to consider that we are in this world of matter. This is the material world of matter. By nature, matter is inert. This sofa, this platform, this room, all inert. Whereas you and I, we all, although have the bodies made of matter, we are conscious, we are alive. Now, what makes us alive? What makes us conscious? The presence of the soul. As long as the soul is in the body, this body made of dead matter is alive. The moment the soul leaves the body made of dead matter becomes dead. Now that leads us to the point, then what is the soul? Did the soul develop just by accidental combination of some atoms and molecules that gave rise to the soul? or the soul comes from another reality beyond this material nature. That is what we have to seriously consider. And the Vedic philosophy extensively deals with that point. For example, Sankhya philosophy is dealing with that point very extensively. It's analyzing this material nature. The word Sankhya literally means the analytical study. It's analyzing this world. The first consideration, there are 5 elements with which this world is made of. Those 5 elements are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Then we have 5 senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and touch. And these senses interact with these different elements of nature. Ear interacts with ether, sound is produced. Skin interacts with air, touch is produced. Eyes interact with fire, foam is produced. Tongue interacts with water, taste is produced. And nose interacts with earth, smell is produced. So this is how 5 objects of the senses are generated. Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. And then they consider that we become active in this world through 5 working senses. And they are hands, speech, anus, belly, and genitals. So 4 5s, they analyze this with 20 considerations. 4 multiplied by 5. Then they considered that beyond that, there are 3 subtle elements: mind, intelligence, and false ego. According to the Vedic understanding, mind, intelligence, and false ego, man, buddhi, and ahankar, are also material elements. Mind is a material element, substance, right? It's a subtle substance. Intelligence is a substance. Our false ego, our mistaken identity or ahankar is a material substance, but subtle. 23. Then they considered the sum total of the elements with which this material nature has been composed of. The basic ingredient called Mahat Tattva, that actually gave rise to the entire material creation. So in this way, through this 24 considerations, Sankhya analyzes the entire material objective reality, this material nature. But then they considered that this objective reality exists because of the subject. I am, therefore, this world is. When I will not be here, will this world be here for me? No. So all these eyes are experiencing, or we can say, sustaining this material nature. Very interesting, although Sankhya philosophy, through extensive analysis, came to this conclusion, but in Bhagavad Gita, just in 4 lines, Krishna summed it up. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Bhumi rapo anala vayu, khang mano buddhi devacha, ahankara ityang me bhinna prakritir ashtadha. The separated nature of mind, bhinna prakriti, the inferior nature, this reality, has been composed of 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. But then he is saying that aparayam itastannam, this nature is inferior, but beyond that, there is a superior nature of mind. And all the jiva bhutang, all the living entities, all the living beings, all the souls are coming from that superior nature. And that is sustaining this material nature. So that is the compressed presentation of this extensive philosophy in Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, the point is, in this way, through this extensive philosophical study, they are coming to a reality beyond this material nature. Beyond this perceivable material reality, there is another reality, which is beyond our sense perception. But although it is beyond our sense perception, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It will be wrong, or it will be a fallacy to think that because I cannot see, it doesn't exist. There are so many things that we are not able to perceive, but we have to accept that they exist. But the point is, in order to accept that, we need proper information. And those informations are available. The books are there. But just the books are not enough. The books need proper teachers to reveal the information of the books. And when we get the proper guidance by the qualified teachers, then this knowledge becomes available to us. And the unfortunate thing is that in today's world, although we have made an extensive progress in practically all different spheres, but in this sphere, we are totally unconcerned about. There are so many different branches of knowledge that has come up, and we are probing so deeply into those branches of knowledge. But in this branch, there is no consideration whatsoever. And that is what I am going to appeal to all of you. Please give your intelligent probing into this area. Just saying that it doesn't exist, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in existence of the soul. Before one makes that conclusion, my earnest request will be, please give it a chance. Find out whether it does exist or not before concluding that it doesn't. An intelligent approach will be, let me find out whether it does. And informations are extensively available, and not only extensively, most scientifically available. Like the wisdom of the Vedas are not just a matter of faith. Wisdom of the Vedas are scientific probing into different subjects, both material and spiritual. As I pointed out, the search actually started, the probing actually started from the material domain, but then it reached into the spiritual. The transcending matter, you are coming to the spiritual reality. And here, the main point that I want to make is that human form of life comes with an inconceivable opportunity. This opportunity is not available to any other species of life. There are not only subhuman species, there are superhuman species also existing. The devas, there are individuals, there are living entities, those who are superior to us. Although we may not be able to see them with our mundane sense perceptions, but they do exist. But the point is, although they are superior to us in many ways, they do not have this access to this opportunity. And this opportunity is to probe into the spiritual reality and recognize our spiritual identity and our relationship with the supreme spiritual being who is God, and establishing our relationship with Him. There lies the ultimate goal of our existence. The Vedas are pointing out, Labdha sudurlabham idam bohu sambhavante. After many, many possibilities, we got this human form of life. Now that we got this opportunity, they are actually urging to us that take advantage of it. Because although this human form of life is very, very rare, but it is unpredictable when this opportunity may go away. Nobody can say for how long we are going to live. Death can come at any moment. Therefore, don't waste your time. Take advantage of this opportunity. And how to take this opportunity? Become exposed to the spiritual reality under the guidance of a qualified teacher, following the syllabus that has been given in the books, and then see what happens. When I met my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, in one of our first meetings, Prabhupada told me, just offer this life to Krishna. Just offer this life to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he, for a long time, he explained why I should do that. And then he concluded by saying that just offer this life to Krishna and see what happens. Even if nothing happens, what's the loss? It's just one life out of so many. It is not that we are here only this time. We had been here before and will continue to be in the future. It is just one life. And this life came with an inconceivable opportunity. An opportunity to become aware of our spiritual identity. The subhuman species cannot think of it. A dog also, it's a living entity, but a dog or a cat or a lion or a monkey cannot question, who am I? Cannot question, what's the purpose of my existence here? Does God exist or not? But we can. And not only that, we can question, but we can actually find the answer that leads to the ultimate goal of our existence. And that is the domain, that is the area we need proper leadership. And I'll humbly request all of you to please take up that responsibility. The world today has everything in abundance, but there is one acute scarcity. That is the scarcity of spiritual understanding, a scarcity of consciousness. So please take up that responsibility. The subject is open, the books are available, the qualified teachers are not difficult to find. So please take this opportunity in order to benefit yourself and in order to benefit the world around you. Thank you all very much.